Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm Sandy Wrobel, your host for this show, and we have a very interesting show today. We have two guests from the Danbury Music Center that I'll be introducing to you. They have many things to tell us about, like the history of the Music Center, their mission, and some upcoming events. And with us now, I'm going to introduce, this is Karen Montecalvo.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, welcome to the Practical Talk Time, and Brenda Hamilton.
Hi, Sandy. Nice to be here.
Yes. I'd like each of you to just kind of briefly tell us what your association is with the Danbury Music Center. We can start with Karen.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today and talk about the Danbury Music Center. My husband is very involved with the Danbury Music Center as a musician, and also he does the summer program and volunteers a lot. For me, I am the layperson here today because I am not musically inclined, but I do attend at least many of the concerts that the Danbury Music Center provides for the community. I would say there are 24 free concerts a year, so we're very fortunate to have this in our community and to keep the arts alive.
Yes, and we're very happy to have both of you here because this is community access, and there may be many people that are not aware of what we have, this great thing in our community. And now to Brenda Hamilton.
Well, I always like to say that the Danbury Music Center is really one of the best kept secrets in the entire Danbury world. I've been involved with the Music Center for about 15 years. I'm a board member, have been a board member for some time, and I also sing in the chorus. My experience with the chorus when I first joined was very interesting because I hadn't sung in many, many years, probably decades. And the idea of singing again was a little bit upsetting to me because I thought I might have to audition. Well, much to my happy surprise, an audition was not necessary. All I had to do was fill out a piece of paper, and I could do that. And I've been singing for the last 14 years and loving every minute of that opportunity. We learn all these marvelous works, and we have wonderful conductors, and it's a great experience.
Yes, and I actually personally know Brenda. We're both altos, and not this show, another show I might tell how I got involved with it. Kind of a funny story, but anyway, not typical. And also Rosemary Isaacson, who's working on our cameras today, she is a member of the Danbury Concert Choir, and she's a soprano, so she's on the other side of us.
That's right. She's one of the elite.
Maybe you'll join us singing, Karen.
I doubt it very much because I've been told when I had to sing to keep quiet. So I can't carry a tune, but I love music, and I love to dance, and it's just a wonderful experience to listen to a 70-piece symphony orchestra that Danbury Music Center provides.
Yes, and I think we have more than one type of orchestra, correct?
We do.
Yes.
Our music center is comprised of a number of constituent groups, as we call them, and our primary group is the Symphony Orchestra, as Karen mentioned. We also have the Danbury Community Orchestra, which allows people in the community to come and participate with their instrument of choice, whatever they're skilled in playing. They would come and audition and hopefully get a spot in the community orchestra, which is comprised of people of all ages, from young people to actually very mature people, people who are starting out in music or have an intermediate level of playing, and they can play in that orchestra. We also have a Danbury Preparatory Strings Orchestra for a lower level beginner, and they just enjoy it so much. We have a marvelous conductor who is wonderful with the young people, and they have a great time learning to be better musicians. So it's really a great opportunity for everyone.
Mm-hmm. I did this past year go to a preparatory concert, and I was really amazed at how really good they are.
They are very, very talented.
I was just blown over by how well they do. So just briefly, could you tell the difference, supposing there's someone out in our audience who plays an instrument and they're trying to decide, well, would I join the symphony or would I join the community orchestra? What is technically the difference in what they would audition for?
That's a very good question, Sandy. I would say that we start with a lower level of skill with the Danbury Preparatory Orchestra. These are people who are just starting out, have a low level of playing, probably haven't been playing very long, and want to excel at learning the skill and improving the skill. The community orchestra affords an opportunity to play at a little bit higher level, and the symphony orchestra is a very high level of playing, and you have to be fairly well skilled to play in the symphony orchestra, as they do tackle very major and complex works. So it's an opportunity for people in the prep orchestra and the community to aspire to the symphony orchestra.
And I believe they're the ones, or part of their group plays for the Messiah. Am I correct?
That is correct. We have a group of about 13 or 14 people from the symphony orchestra who do volunteer their services to perform Handel's Messiah every year. They also perform the Nutcracker.
The same group or the whole
Mostly the whole group, or people who choose to participate. The symphony orchestra does lend its services to various activities throughout the course of the year. And a smaller group perform the Messiah. It's a chamber group. The larger group performs the Nutcracker. It requires a fuller orchestra.
So some people who are in the symphony orchestra actually do put a large amount of time in.
They do. They do.
Yes.
It's a labor of love, for sure, for many people. And frankly, the holidays wouldn't be the same without these two all-time favorites, Handel's Messiah and the Tchaikovsky ballet, the Nutcracker.
That used to be my favorite. I would go to the Messiah each year, and then eventually I got to be part of the music center. And Karen, I know that you're somehow involved with the gala that's coming up for the Music Center. So could you tell us more about that?
Sure. Our gala event is March 30th at the Matrix Center from 8 to 11. And it's a wonderful evening of dancing. And this year is a special occasion because we're honoring Jim Humphreyville for 55 years of service. He was the director of the Danbury Music Center from 1977 to 2000, and he was a well-known teacher in the area, and he's just given so much of his time and effort to the Danbury Music Center. It's our time to honor him, and he will be leading the orchestra on March 30th, and it's a wonderful time for people to come and gather and to dance. When can you ever go and dance to a live orchestra nowadays? It's just a very, very exciting event. There will be a silent auction. There will be wonderful pastries and hors d'oeuvres. And it should be a very fun evening. And you know, the Music Center is comprised of everybody, not only in the Danbury area, but often the musicians come from other areas, Carmel, New York, and other places in the area. So it brings a wide range of people into the Danbury area. And this is a very exciting event for us, and it's one of our fundraising events. So we're happy to have that with the Nutcracker, and it should be a very wonderful evening.
Now, who is able to come to this gala? Do I have to be a member of the Music Center, or could just anyone come?
Anyone can come, and all they have to do is call the Danbury Music Center or go online, and they will find enough information to provide for them and you know, about coming to the event. And most of our concerts are published in the newspaper and advertised, and so there are so many things that the Danbury Music Center provides to the community. They should be open to coming to one of the summer programs on the green in the town, not only to the gala event, but also the Nutcracker. Very often our musicians are volunteers in the sense that it's not just the husband, it's the wife, they're both playing. And with the Nutcracker, even their children are dancing. So it's really a family affair.
Yes, and I remember going to one of the probably the preparatory strings, and they were announcing there were parents and children and brothers and sisters, and I thought, gee, how wonderful for the families that are all musically inclined that way,
Right.
that they have something together. And it's also true of the groups that we have. It's not just for the gala or the orchestras. Even our singing group, we have people from New York and I think even Waterbury, Southbury. Some people travel up to an hour. The reputation has gotten out there about what the Music Center is about. So even though it says Danbury Music Center, people are welcome from wherever they come. And if someone doesn't remember, if they could just go on and Google Danbury Music Center, it would come up.
Yes, it will, and it will provide you on the Google how if you want to purchase tickets, and there will be information about the history of the Danbury Music Center, which I think is very interesting. The Danbury Music Center is located on Main Street in Danbury, and originally it used to be the library, so architecturally it's a beautiful building. And the hall upstairs is been named for Marian Anderson, who was a wonderful singer, and I think most of us are familiar with her work in the area. And there's beautiful mural paintings downstairs in the main office, and it's open to the public to come and see.
Am I correct that the murals were a result of the Great Depression?
Yeah,
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Do you know about that, Brenda?
I think there is some truth to that. I believe they were painted at that point in time because that is an old building. It's been around since the turn of the last century, and they have been, they're in actually very nice condition. I think that the city has done a little bit of restoration on the murals to make sure that they stand the test of time, but I think that they were. I think someone came in and painted that, and it is an absolutely beautiful representation. We take it for granted, actually. People who are there all the time look at it and don't really see it, but if you come in looking for the first time, you see something so marvelous and so incredible on the walls that you just are amazed at its beauty.
It might be interesting for people in the audience if they're downtown Danbury, in the center of Danbury, on the corner of Library Place and Main Street, to just go up the stairs and drop in and say, hi, I'd like to look at your walls.
Absolutely. I'm sure they'd be welcome to do that.
Yes, they will be welcomed by Nancy Sudik, the Director of Music there, and her wonderful secretary, Barbara Yeager, who really give so much time and are so professional in what they do for the community.
Yes, so you just said that Nancy Sudak is the director, so in effect she took over the position of James Humphreyville, is that correct?
Well, James Humphreyville was the director of music.
Of the symphony.
Director of the symphony.
Danbury Symphony Orchestra. Nancy is the executive director, administrative director of the organization.
Right, and we take it for granted that concerts are just put on, or we just pick up our music. Because I tease her, I said, oh, you just have nothing to do here, which I know is not true.
She is our Rock of Gibraltar, and she handles everything. And she does a wonderful job of it as well.
Yes, and we're taping this today on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. It will be aired a couple of weeks later. And Nancy is going to, Sudak will be on, I believe, with Kimberly Marcus. And they'll be on these days with Barb Keidel. There'll be another show that we hope people will see and become more familiar with what goes on at the Music Center. There's also a mission statement.
I'm glad you bring that up because I brought that with me so I can share that with our audience today. It's, I'm going to just quote it from our website. The mission of the Danbury Music Center: to sponsor musical organizations, both instrumental and vocal, in which persons of a wide variety of musical backgrounds are encouraged to study and perform classic and modern compositions to improve their musical ability and to share the joy of music with the people of the greater Danbury area. The musical organizations of the Danbury Music Center will be composed of amateur and professional musicians from the greater Danbury area and will be conducted by professional directors. Most performances will be free to the public. This is really important because it's about the people in the community. It's about being a participant if you have a musical inclination. It's about being a member of the audience if you have an interest in music. It's about reaching out into the community and letting you all know that we're here, and we have been for 75 plus years. And it always amazes me that I often will speak of the Danbury Music Center and people will say to me, "What? I've never heard of you." And I'm surprised because we've been around a long time and we do have so much to offer the community. If you're a family and you want to expose your children to good music, to different kinds of music, you can come to the Young People's Concert, which we just had a few weeks ago. We have to wait for next year for that one. Or you can bring them to summer enrichment programs, or you can bring them to a choral concert and they can hear a beautiful Fauré Requiem or a Poulenc Gloria, which will be coming up in May. The opportunities to expose your children to music are many, and it's wonderful because the concerts are free. You have nothing to lose by coming and trying and sampling our wares. If you're a singer, come and join our chorus. We have 90 plus voices and a wonderful brand new conductor who we absolutely adore, who is training us as singers, and we learn something new every time. I love the Music Center, and my life would be very empty without the arts that feed my soul. I know now things are kind of tough in the world, and humanitarian causes are really critical to survival, the survival of the human body, but the arts feed your soul in a way that nothing else can. And sometimes you need the escape of the arts to be able to refresh your soul, and then you can address the other things in your life because you are refreshed. It reminds me of the Depression when they had all the feel-good movies, and people would go and see Fred and Ginger and whomever that were popular at the time. And I remember reading a lot about that those feel-good movies made people forget their troubles, even for a little while. Music does that to you. It helps you just find a new path in your life and your life's thinking. And I, for one, love the Music Center and will be involved with it as long as I am able. And I would encourage anyone to try a concert, come sing. If you play an instrument, do something with your musical instrument and just get involved. If you can't do any of those things, well, be a member. Help support us so we can continue to provide to the community this wonderful organization of programs.
And I also know that people are welcome to come and see our rehearsals. I've had people that I've invited, and they have come to them to see how we actually rehearse. And they were really not surprised, but they were very complimentary about saying how nice the people are that are in the group. And it's a whole range of people, all kinds of professions. Some have studied music, some are like myself that really have no musical training, and it's open to everyone, and I have learned a great deal about the music and have improved. The only problem I can say is that even though I'm feeling better and knowing I'm doing better, even the professional people that have studied are doing better. And maybe we should talk about, too, with our concerts, that even though we're non-professional, we're amateur group, when it comes to the soloist, many times they are, what, Brenda?
They are professional. They are professional, and they come and they lend a wonderful professional hand to whatever it is we're performing. They are trained musicians, and it's an opportunity for us to have a little bit of a workshop, as one of our previous conductors, beloved conductors, had said to us. It's a workshop opportunity for us to learn from them how best to present your voice, and it really does help to be exposed to that.
It certainly does, and I have neighbors across the street. When I first met them, I told them about the Messiah, and it was back in the days when we were performing at St. Peter's. Now we're at the Congregational Church, and they came to it and they were very impressed because it's free. They were very impressed with the quality, and most surprisingly, they had paid to go to a Messiah performance in Fairfield, Connecticut, and they said that ours was better. And I think what people need to know, just because it's free doesn't mean that it's not good. It might even be better than some of the ones that are paid for.
You make a good point, Sandy. It is free, but it's not cheap because we do an exceptional job. We have the best conductors. We have people who volunteer their time and have plenty of heart. Everyone who is a member of the Danbury Music Center chorus in particular is there because they want to be, because they love the music, they love the opportunity to sing, and they put everything they have into a great performance, which makes a big difference when you have people who are really interested in what they're doing. They put everything they have into it, and the result is a really fantastic performance. We have a wonderful symphony who comes and does what they do best, and the combination of all those ingredients is remarkable. And something I wanted to comment on that you mentioned earlier about the different walks of life people come from. There are so many different kinds of people in our organization, and they do come from far and wide, and that's what makes it such an interesting blend and mix. It's not we're an interesting mix. We're not all the same, stamped out of the same mold. And that's what makes it interesting and makes us a fun organization, because we do have different kinds of people with all different experiences, and we learn from each other. You've spoken about the fact that you have no musical background, but you come and you lend your voice and you become as vital and important as a person who's a professional, because you are there.
Yes, and there are people in the chorus. Ann Toretti's, for one, has helped me a great deal. If she'd see that I'd be struggling with some of the more difficult notes, she's right there helping me. So I'd have to say that it's a place to really come and feel comfortable.
That's right.
Yeah, and this is different here at Comcast, but the same thing here. Anybody that's involved, it also is all volunteer. And it's a labor of love, people putting on shows that they think the community will be interested in. And I'm glad that we have the Music Center back again, because it's a way of getting out into the community. And we have roughly 5 minutes left, and I think we need to go back a little bit more to the gala with the dancing. Maybe the people would like to know a little bit more about what kind of dancing will they do.
Well, there certainly will be some beautiful Vienna waltzes, and there'll be also some dancing with the dance band to Broadway shows, and a little bit of pop music. And I just want to say a little bit about the gala. Just like the Nutcracker, that we really need the support of the community. And it's vital for the Music Center. The Music Center operates on very little, and it costs a lot of money to get music and to work with the community and the people. And they do that, as Brenda said, from the heart. And this is our time to support them. And I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful evening that you can dance, you can relax, you can have a silent auction, you can have wonderful pastries and hors d'oeuvres, meet wonderful friends of the community, and it's just so important for us to all come and support this event.
Who's making the pastries and hors d'oeuvres? Are people just bringing them, or is it catered? Or
well, I believe the Matrix Center, which I don't know if anybody has been to the Matrix Center, but once you're in their beautiful ballroom, it's like being in a fairy tale. It's all glass, marble, and mirrors.
Oh, really?
And it's a lovely, lovely atmosphere. And it's just a night where you can get dressed up, whether you're single or as a couple. You can sit with your friends and enjoy the evening.
Now, I was surprised at the dance band. I was thinking that it was just going to be like the 40s music, but you're saying Broadway tunes and pop music?
There might be a Broadway tune thrown in here and there, and something that would be romantic, and something that would be fun. So it's for all dance levels, And of course, Jim Humphreyville has been doing this event as the director for many years. So he is a fine director and also well known throughout the community. But it's a special night for him because we're really honoring him for his wonderful service that he's provided for the Music Center.
And how are you honoring him? Anything special, or is it a secret till that night?
It's a secret.
It is a secret.
Oh, it is a secret. Oh.
It's a secret. The only thing that's not a secret is that we want everybody to come.
Okay.
He does know he's
This is
being
unrehearsed, so
He knows he's being honored, and that's all he needs to know.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to let the cat out of the bag.
And I wanted to say another quick word about the dance band. The orchestra will perform, and you can dance to the orchestra, or when the orchestra takes its break, the dance band will fill in, so there will be continuous dancing. And that's the beauty of it, because those people who enjoy dancing don't want to sit. And the dance band plays music that you can swing to, that you can rumba and cha-cha to, that you can do things besides a Viennese waltz to. That's an important fact for a dancer.
Oh, it is. I didn't know about this.
That's why I wanted to share it to the listening public.
Oh, I think that's very, very important. Because I think before it was just, you'd hear the Vienna music.
That's right. And it's wonderful. And Viennese waltz is a beautiful dance, but not everybody does it. And this is an opportunity to get out and do whatever kind of dancing you like to do.
I just want to mention about the silent auction. Where can you go and bid on a silent auction and get a weekend in Cape Cod, which is offered? Nancy Sudik has a lovely home in Cape Cod, and last year I was fortunate to bid on that, and I got to go. Oh, yeah. So there are many fun things to do at this event.
Well, you're certainly making me feel like I might want to go.
I think you should. Bring all your friends. Everybody out there in the listening public, bring all your friends. Come and have a fun time and support the Danbury Music Center.
And we've had wonderful weather this winter, so hopefully it should be good weather, and today's very nice. So we hope it will continue. And I want to thank both of you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
And hope to have you back again at some other time, because we always have new events coming on.
Great.
And at this point, I think we have maybe 30 seconds left. We've had a wonderful interview with Brenda Hamilton and here in Montecalvo. And I want to thank everyone who's viewing out there. Please come to the event. And if you want more information, you can always email us at practicaltalktime@yahoo.com. Thank you.